I believe unquestionably that these are deeply rooted structural changes. That the traditional approach, say, in the shipping industry was you bought low and you sold high and you basically played the cycle. But you were confident about the trend. I think today is different. You couldn't have chosen a better and more vivid time to hold this conference, because it highlights two dimensions of the deep structural changes that are taking place in the world economy. The first, only 2 weeks ago, what we saw was the Supreme Court rejecting the tariff initiative of Donald Trump. And what we've seen subsequently is, lawyers are clever and they're scheming a way to just reimpose the tariffs in a different form. But this is symptomatic of a deeply rooted change that is the result of a fundamental reorientation of America's view of the world economy. Traditionally, the world we lived in involved an American view in which a multilateral system was viewed in its interest. Starting around 2015, that view has fundamentally changed. And Donald Trump epitomizes a stance which says that the world is unfair to the United States, they've taken advantage of the United States, and we need to put America first. And his tariff policies are a symptom of that view. So what we've had are tariffs, but they're not simply high. In a sense, if we had a one-time tariff initiative, well, that would slow down the pace of change. But these tariffs have been incredibly volatile. And this has created immense uncertainty for the shipping industry. What we get is the natural result, which is people front-run expected tariff increases. There's a huge surge in demand that floods ports, that leads to excess capacity, excess demand, high tariff rates, tremendous volatility in a system. And so that's a first fundamental structural change, I think, that is a consequence of the trade. Another is rerouting. Yeah. The United States was very dependent on China. What we can say about that was that the shipping was efficient. But today, what we've got are a set of connector countries who are actually bringing Chinese value added into the United States, but they're doing it through East Asia, through India, and through Mexico. So there's a rerouting in the global system, which is also fundamentally changing the pattern of trade. And then there's a third initiative, which is, and we'll hear more about it later, which is higher taxes on particular ships that originate from particular countries, most notably China. And so no longer do we have an integrated global system. And then added up on top of that, we've seen the experience of wars and how the wars have tended to require rerouting. The use of the Cape of Good Hope. You may detect I'm a South African in origin. It's good for South Africa, but for the world,
maybe for
not so
not.
much.
Yeah.
Higher costs as a consequence of what happened in Ukraine with the Black Sea, with the Hutus, and in the Red Sea, and now with the Straits of Hormuz. All of these are evidence of a total restructuring of the patterns of trade, higher costs for shipping, less efficiency, And I think as we look to the future, this is extremely challenging for this industry, for the shipping industry. And the victory will go to those who can adjust to this volatile environment.